I meant to tell you guys in the last video that I'm gonna have a couple of New Year's resolutions. Reading's a big one. I'm currently reading 2 books. Second one is photography. I've always wanted to get into photography. I have a bunch of cameras I don't use, and I really want to get into taking pictures and photo editing. Getting back into exercise. I used to be a really big runner when I was a teenager, and then after COVID I stopped, and now I'm a chubby mess, and I would love to get back into running as a hobby. Journaling is something I've only ever done when I'm upset, and I would like to have it just do every day as like a thing of reflection. A lot of people talk about writing down things you're grateful for, because I guess it's said, I forgot where I heard it, but when you write things down you tend to remember it better, and I've only ever written down when something bad happens to me, and so maybe if I start writing down good things, I'll remember more good things in my life. So journaling. Music, I told you guys I wanted to make music. It's not even like I want to be famous for music thing. It's just that I really love music, listening to music. I was a band kid when I was in middle school and high school, and I have my guitars that you can see, and I just think it would be a really good way of self-expression. Drawing, I've always loved drawing. I've never been really good at it, and so I never took it up as a hobby because I never thought I was good enough. I've always been like that. I've never really done anything because I've never thought I was good at it. But I like drawing, and I think it's really cool, and I love learning about different techniques, and so I would like to start drawing more. And skateboarding. When I was younger, I was very fearless, and I would go down the ramps, and I would do all this and that with my little like crappy skateboard from Walmart, and now I'm an adult and I stopped because, you know, life. And now everything is so scary to me. And I think skateboarding, besides being one of the coolest sports ever, is also just a really good like thing with fear and self-expression. And I honestly, I've always, like since I was like 7 years old, thought that skateboarding was so beautiful to look at, and I want to be able to do it. So I want to get back into my skating. And yeah, those are my resolutions. Those are the things I want to work on this year. I've never really been big on resolutions, but like it's hard to not self-reflect in the new year. But anyways, we're going to be talking about friendships. I want to also start out by saying I'm not making this video to say that I agree with being the type of person that stays inside and doesn't have friends and doesn't do anything and is just in home playing video games. That's not what I'm saying when I'm doing this video. But I think that all of society has this big obsession with boxing people as like antisocial or like very social, and there's not really a place for like in between. You're either introvert, extrovert, and it's like either the extremes, like oh this person is so good at talking to everybody, or oh this person like stutters when trying to order a meal. And I don't think I'm either of those. I don't have a problem talking with strangers. I don't have a problem going outside by myself. But I do spend a lot of time alone, and it's just because that's when I'm most comfortable. I love being alone, and a lot of the things that I like, making music, drawing, skateboarding, reading, it's like those are like alone activities. Like you don't need another person to do them. A lot of people, they come up to me and they tell me that I'm very unhappy because I don't go out with my friends, and I don't think that that's true. I think that I'm unhappy because I'm just a miserable person. Like it has nothing to do with whether I have friends or not, because I do have friends and they do invite me to do stuff, and I do go out like every once in a while. It's just that I enjoy my alone time, and I don't think that being social or not has that big of an effect on happiness. And I feel like people need to stop putting that pressure on people to like go out and talk to people more. And the reason that this was on my mind and why I wanted to make a whole video on it was because I recently had a falling out with a friend. And the story is that they invited me to go to a music festival, and then like literally right before the music festival happened, they ditched me with no explanation. Like I didn't do anything wrong, that to my knowledge. They just stopped talking to me, and like this was like months ago, and they still have never talked to me again. Like they just kind of acted like I've never known them, and I don't know why, but it's just like, who cares, you know? Like I lost one friend, it's not that big of a deal. But other people bring them up to me, and it's like, well, I didn't do anything. Us no longer being friends wasn't my decision. It was just they stopped talking to me, and then that's it. A lot of people are starting to realize that you need to learn to enjoy time alone. And I feel like with our obsession with boxing people as introvert, extrovert, social, or unsocial, you forget that you need to like know yourself. Like, oh, even if like there's a lot of people who talk about being with friends and still feeling lonely, or being with a group of people and feeling like an outsider. And I feel like it's important to have alone time and to like be comfortable with yourself, so that way when you're in social settings you don't feel so awkward and anxious. Like having alone time is a really important thing. And I feel like we're so focused on, oh, you don't talk, you don't hang out with people, like what's wrong with you? And it's just like, there's a lot that can be done when you're by yourself. I'm saying that I spend a lot of time alone, but I do talk to my friends a lot, you know, through the phone, because there's things like time constraints and having jobs. And I have a friend that lives kind of far away who's like, I consider my best friend, but she's like 2 hours away. Like, I can't go and see you every day. You don't need to constantly be surrounded by people. You should have friends. You should have people you can talk to. Like, oh, if I'm having a bad day, I can text her and like get reassurance because she's my friend, and she can do the same thing to me if she feels. But we don't have to be face to face all the time. And I feel like people, they see that I'm standing physically by myself, but it's like they're forgetting that like my friend is like a phone call away. But in the end, loneliness is not the problem. The problem is mindset and enjoyment and getting out. So it's like, I think a lot of people have this problem with, oh, I want to go do this thing, but I don't have any friends to do it with. I feel like that's something a lot of people say, just go do it. I've always had that. Oh, I want to go to the movies. I'm just going to go by myself. Even me, like, I do this often. I go outside by myself and I'm anxious because I'm like, oh, I probably look weird doing this by myself. But it's like, I wanted to go do this. I wanted to just go get a pizza and go sit at the park. I wanted to just go to the movies. I wanted to just go to whatever. And I didn't want to worry about asking my friend to come, seeing what time works for them, aligning our schedules. I want to go do it. I'm going to go do it now. And it's more convenient for me to do it alone. This feeling, I feel like, is different for men and women. As a girl, how I'm giving this advice, I'm a girl and I'm giving this advice to just go do stuff alone. Always remember to be careful because being a woman is awful and always dangerous. And that is another big part of friendships. I feel like friendships are very different for men and women, and there's so much to it, and it's so stupid, but it's like, if you're a woman, there's a lot more complication to things. If you're in a friend group, if you're by yourself, everything changes. Safety changes, feelings change, and it's just, I feel like it's so unfair to be a girl. And I'm sorry if you're a boy watching this, but there's so much to consider about friendships and loneliness and alone time and being out and getting experiences as a girl. I don't think friendships are that important. I think that being comfortable and getting out and making experiences for yourself is what is important. And it's cool to have other people with you to experience life, but also I feel like a big thing with me is that I'm worried about how the other person is feeling at the time. And that's why I like to be by myself, because I don't want to worry about how other people are feeling. I just want to enjoy the moment. I want to enjoy this movie without, you know, worrying about, does my friend think this is boring or whatever. I love my friends and I love hanging out with them, but sometimes I do be like, no, I can't hang out today. And it's not even that I'm busy, it's just that I just don't want to be with another person right now. And that doesn't mean that I'm depressed, and that doesn't mean that I don't like this friend. It's just, you know, I enjoy being alone and I'm comfortable with myself and I'm comfortable just hanging out. And that's all I have to say about friendships. It's just, it's not that deep. If you have a lot of friends, if you only have 2 friends, if you have no friends, if you constantly are by yourself, I feel like that might be a problem. You should have at least one person to talk to. And it's even like, you can consider friends like your siblings or your cousins, you know, like, just don't like 24/7 be alone. Like, even just like getting out and like, oh, saying good morning to your coworkers, you know, like some social interaction I do think is important, but I don't think it's important to constantly be out with other people. Like, it's okay if the only interaction you had with other people was saying good morning to your coworkers or your classmates or whatever. If your only interaction was raising your hand and like speaking up in class, I think that that's enough. I really do. I don't think that you need to be popular surrounded by 10 people all the time. And I feel like there's just so much being like, oh, that person's by themselves all the time, they're a loser. They're just comfortable with themselves. And I feel like that's one of the most important things there is in life, is just being comfortable with yourself. But you should go out and get experiences. If having another person with you, I'm rambling, I'm so sorry, I'm rambling. Being comfortable with yourself and having life experiences, that is what's important. Whether it's by yourself or with others, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.